Flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. And welcome. November 12th. With the approval of the agenda, I don't want to overstep anything, but one of the items was setting a time and date for the monthly commissioner workshop briefing. And I was wanting to know if maybe we could put in there or make a time for looking at our harbor, scheme of harbor improvements, unless that would be in the workshop.
We can address that. We want to start with public comment though.
Oh, yeah, duh. I always do that. So sorry.
Okay.
Okay, public comment. Ken, do you have anything tonight? Oh,
Yes.
did you raise your hand first? Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Who's playing?
Okay.
And I have to remind everybody,
Yeah,
3 minutes,
yeah,
please.
just right on the edge of the camera.
We're just looking at that. You're good.
You're fine.
You're in
Okay.
there.
Commissioners, Ken Van Busker from Belfair. I attended the ribbon cutting last week for the Belfair new pump station up on behind Mason Transit.
Hmm.
All three of the Board of County Commissioners were there, Representative Griffey was there. And it's really exciting news, and I think it could provide an opportunity for the board. I'll talk about that later. I'd like to compliment the board for the thorough minute meetings of the October 7th regular meeting, and in particular, the minutes of the budget public hearing. The description of my comments was quite eloquent, and I don't think that I could really take credit for those comments, but thank you. Commissioner Sheridan wasn't in attendance at that meeting, but I hope you've had the opportunity to review those minutes. I made several suggestions and recommendations for the budget. And while none of them were adopted this time around, I hope if you have to do budget adjustments during this coming year, that you reconsider those suggestions, particularly in the area of legal services and regular performance ratings or reviews. My other comments have to do with the whole business agenda item on the Port of Allyn Comp Plan Project Survey. And I wonder if you'd allow me the opportunity to speak at that time, especially if you're planning to take action.
Okay.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And I don't know, it might all work better if you're going to talk about scheduling a work study, but have some comments regarding that. I'd like to. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I didn't see it. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
He's in two places. Okay, Brad, go ahead. You're muted. We can't hear you. Or either we're muted. Can't hear
Can't
you.
hear you, Brad.
Can you now?
Yeah.
Yeah, now we can.
Okay, good evening. I came on and got knocked off and got back on again. So sorry I couldn't attend in person. Public comment. Well, at some of the last meetings, I've noticed that the commissioners have talked about the fact that, previous directors and maybe managers have not performed maybe the way they should have been. I want to make it clear that as a taxpayer and business owner and a public advocate and also a leader, you guys are in charge. You guys are the folks that we elect. You guys are in charge of making sure that the people are performing, within their duties and responsibilities and performing accurately. So I mean, all the responsibility rests on you guys, and you shouldn't blame Larry or Leanne for, money that's missing, money that's been misappropriated, decisions are being made. It ultimately rests on, you three commissioners. I understand Mike wasn't there. Um, Changing subjects now, we have a settlement agreement that we had the port sign. I brought to the port's attention that the port's out of compliance with that settlement agreement. The port needs to uh, sit down with me and go through mediation and resolve the violations that we've pointed out. That needs to be done. And so, you guys need to sit down with me and do it. So please do that. The third thing is the budget issues. With respect to money that's been spent by the port over the years, I brought it up at past meetings. There's money that's unaccounted for completely. There's money that's been spent where what it was spent on is uh, unknown or being questioned. And then there's money that was spent to for the port's water infrastructure. And I brought up before, it looks like those monies were spent to further or to for personal gain on behalf of Commissioner Judy Scott and or the port director at the time, Bonnie Knight. And if that's the case, which it appears it is, then we need to identify those monies and we need to identify how that's going to be rectified. Okay. How am I doing on time, Commissioner Scott?
27 seconds.
27 seconds. Well, I appreciate you guys up there doing your thing. Stay dry, be safe. But, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but we really need to address these issues. And then once they're identified, then figure out how to solve them. Okay. I did take your port survey, just FYI, I saw it on the website, so I'll send that in. Visit the Port of Bremerton's website. They're looking at expanding that airport to do cargo and passenger traffic. I just was on their website earlier. It's pretty interesting. Okay. Good night.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Jeff. Yes.
Yep, Carrie, Belfer, two things. Through our workshop, we had, talked a little bit, not coming up with a plan or anything, but the area of oversight. And I talked a little bit to Travis this morning about it. The first step in actually doing oversight is getting reports, county reports, so that we know where we are.
Yeah.
I felt we were close, but we're not there yet. And because if you ask just a simple question, where are we today, relative to everything, it's hard to tell. So I'll leave it at that. The gist of what I'm describing, but that would be if you had to focus on one thing first on oversight, it's getting your reports and getting, so as commissioners, and the public, where the port stands at any given, at least at the end of the month. Period. What's all the things tallied up and what have you.
Yeah.
Understanding that sometimes happens a weekend of the month. Second thing is on the port survey. It sounds like we'll talk a little bit about it, but I wasn't sure whether we were not, public was going to comment or not. But 2 points within that is that the survey has a number of things. But I maintain that until we get things settled through a few years of the budget and get things back righted, that we should not really be entertaining a lot of new projects, even if it's in the port's bailiwick of economic development or what have you, because there's a process here we gotta go through. We're working through it.
Yeah.
We're making progress.
I agree.
It's just not gonna happen overnight. And I think it's good that the public, get this balanced and working before you get into the projects. So with that, hopefully we'll have a discussion about the projects during the course of the meeting. But the short and sweet is, please look at not taking on more projects until things are done. It's definitely we're going in the right direction financially, we're going in the right direction in different tasks. Yes, there's more things to do, but sometimes we just have to say no for a while. To get to yes. How's that?
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. There's a June Williams. June, do you have anything you want to share? Okay, hearing nothing, we will move on to the approval of the agenda. I don't know if you want to add anything about setting a time for a workshop for the harbor scheme of improvements, or just put it in the workshop time.
Oh, we talked about it.
Okay,
Sure.
all right,
One thing, on approval of the agenda, if I may,
yes,
is that, we, had a numbered, buggle there on item C in the financial report.
Okay.
The general fund voucher should be totaling $44,081. Flat.
okay. Thank you for that
That's all I have.
correction. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Do I hear a second?
Second it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the consent agenda items. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
I'll make a motion to approve. Well, first of all, the consent, that includes the meeting minutes, right?
Correct.
Yep, meeting minutes.
That's why I'm
ratification.
not speaking up, because I wasn't present.
Well, you're,
But Michael can, deal with
Okay.
it.
Michael
All
can
right,
make,
I'll make a motion that we approve the minute meetings,
the consent agenda items.
consent agenda items, sorry.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 So moved. Okay, commissioner reports. Who first?
Well, I could just, I've made it to my Mason Transit Authority Board meet, represented the Port of Allyn well. But, I was unable due to family matters, that took precedence over this last month. I did not make it to the meetings, commission. At the Port of Allyn. That's my report.
Okay, excellent. Mike, would you like to do your report?
Yeah, I went to the, made it to the meeting as well as the workshop. I also attended, the, convention Port Commissioners Convention that we went to. And that was good, learned a lot. And then also attended a meeting, as far as with dealing with with Travis in reference to, water up on the flat for some properties that be getting water.
Okay, excellent. October 4th, I was at EDC, bylaws committee. I was on a WPPA legislative committee, October 7th. Economic Development Council meeting, October 10th. And then, of course, the WPPA, which is Washington Public Ports Association Small Ports Conference at Chelan, one that Mike went to. It was really good, very helpful. And then our 28th work session, November 1st, and which you'll see later, is I met with Peter Leon with Leon Consulting and Bill Ray, who were previous consultants about the Oyster House. So hopefully we can move a little more forward and with that. So there we go. Okay, Travis, Executive Director report.
well, you all had a chance to read through the executive director report. Is there any blistering questions before I kind of synopsis go through it?
Nope.
All right, so,
Did Mike?
No, he
Oh.
just said no.
Oh, okay.
so we, still have an abandoned vessel, on our, Allyn waterfront facility here. And its owner has been in contact with me pretty regularly over the last week since I wrote this. It sounds like he wants to pay, but he, is trying to get his insurance company to provide us with a certificate of insurance for the time he was here so that we can lower the rate that he owes. Which
Okay.
is totally within policy, so gotta offer it.
Okay.
But, you know, we could see a good chunk of change that the boat's been sitting there quite a while and there's still a lot of money owed.
Okay.
Small Ports Conference, of course, attendance was, Commissioner Scott, Commissioner Curtin, and myself. It's always a great opportunity to, bring back, insight from other ports.
Plus you got to do one of the classes.
Yes, I did class, well, I got to do a presentation.
Presentation,
Yeah.
that's true. It was great.
I
Good job.
didn't feel like I really nailed the presentation
Well,
part,
Tim
but-
said.
But I did the questions I hit out of the park, and that's all that matters.
I mean, I wasn't there, of course, but Tim gave you a big kudos for it. the
Yeah, well,
Council.
That's
You
all.
did
that's
good.
all that
You did
matters.
good.
Anyway,
You
you're
did
always
good.
your largest critic, right?
Good.
Oh, and then later in the meeting here, we've got to talk about our levy tax adjustments. Every year they assess how much is due to us in refund. And it'll be an action item for you to determine whether we re-levy the entire amount of lost revenue of $1,855 and change. We only re-levy a portion. We can go all the way up to that amount, or we can choose not to re-levy anything. But I would prefer to bring that to the commission for their decision.
Okay.
And the reason why we didn't actually file the levy after we did it, it was because we were waiting for this. It came
Yes.
in 2 days after our regular meeting where we approved the levy, but the levy isn't due until the 30th November. So when I go and pick up our vouchers tomorrow, I will be certifying that as well.
Okay,
Now that we can do a decision on the refund.
okay.
The grassroots learning with Alyssa, their director. The day we talked about it in the meeting, the neighbors moved out.
Oh,
So too good of an opportunity for them to have double their space right there. So that's not going to be an option for us to do a lease agreement with them.
Okay.
But we still have talked about some other opportunities with their families and getting our playground
Good.
taken care of. So we're gonna discuss how that actually looks like, and we'll talk about it more.
great.
And then, of course, the survey, that'll be discussed later. Kitsap Housing, phase 2 is, still in review with the legal advisors, but I expect to, have that done before the end of the year for sure, but I think it'll be wrapped up in the next few weeks. That will be a contract that I'll have to bring before the commission.
Okay.
And have them approve it before we sign it and go for it. It's for a very large amount of money. And it is also for a very large extension into our system.
Okay,
Also, phase 1, the ribbon cutting is gonna happen probably on the 12th of December, but I'll let you know.
Okay.
We've gotten 12 new families moving into the area. And attaching to all of them will be paying on our water system. And it's a self-help program where the Kitsap Housing helps them with advice and everything else, and they build their own homes.
great. Sort of like Habitat.
Very similar, yeah. And then West Sound Engineering has 90% completion on our DOH consolidation plan, ready for submission. I talked to Mike this morning, and it looks like we'll have the draft to review middle of next week. So that's basically the more details to emerge. Back over to the pier. Also on the docket for approval is the DF electric power pedestal proposal. That will get us on the timeframe for when we can order those power pedestals.
Yeah.
It's gonna take maybe 10-12 weeks for them to produce them. But we get it paid now and we can get reimbursed before the next month cycle comes up because it's all reimbursable through commerce.
Great.
That one's an easy one. And then marine floats actually will finish tomorrow with all of their work. So I will
Really?
have a finished invoice there for us to pay in December, which is also fully reimbursable. So the cages are going to be installed tomorrow and set in place. So that when the sea lions do come, even though they're installed over the broken ones, you can see how they will look.
Yeah,
And they are stout, let me tell you. I'll get some pictures and send them to you. There's no breaking those ones.
Well, okay.
Uh, we're pretty darn confident about those. They actually lifted up all the boards underneath them and put in all new wood bracing underneath them
All right.
to attach them.
Great.
So.
Nice job.
Oyster House relocation, as Judy had, Commissioner Scott there had mentioned, we had a talk with Bill Ray and Peter Leon. And there will be more to come on that here. We're hoping to have a meeting, I believe.
Mhm.
Maybe in the middle of next week.
I think so. I haven't heard from.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him yet either.
Okay.
We'll touch base.
Yeah.
Didn't have anything new for port safety and security this month. And nothing suspicious to report in the security report. And then just a few other loose ends that we're working on. The Allyn Carry Well purchase just has the as-built. We're a little held up with the professional services on that end, but we had some movement today and hopeful that we'll get through it. We've got to come up with a solution for the end of the year. We really got to get this wrapped up. So we may have to have another discussion about those as-bills.
Okay.
So I will keep you posted.
Okay.
The OH loan program, we're still waiting for the new contract after the change of scope. Security cameras, we've got all the materials that we need to just wait for that dry day and have Dawn, Natalia, and myself. We'll go out there and get that wiring reconnected to the camera. And at that point, it'll be operational. We'll run cameras. And I just couldn't fit in the derelict vessel program meeting this month. It just wasn't possible for me. There's
Okay.
one more next, I think next week. I will look about possibly going, but I don't know yet.
Is that held at Silverdale?
Yeah, no, it's in Port Orchard at the Commissioner Chambers.
Oh, okay,
All
gotcha.
right.
It's they send us the minutes and everything, and I follow up on it. It's something that only 2 ports in Mason County really are affected by,
Right,
because it's just Port of Hoodsport and us that
Yeah.
really have marinas left.
yeah,
But it's still a huge consideration for the environmental impact of our community. Boats do a lot of
yeah,
damage,
for sure.
so. Anyway, that's my report.
Okay,
Thank you, man.
yes, thank you. Okay, old business? Port. Abandoned
Oh.
vessel, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Abandoned vessel,
Yeah, and if you have any more questions about what I've already said, I'm not gonna pursue any kind of remediation on that until the guys got the opportunity to bring me his insurance tomorrow.
yeah,
But after that, I'll start making the calls to start the auction process.
okay. Any questions, commissioners?
Yeah.
No?
No.
Port of Allen project survey, I kind of looked at it too. I appreciate that we need to,
If I could give you a little bit more context on that.
okay,
The old Port of Allen survey was literally just a PDF that you would have to print out and fill it out and send it back to the port.
Yeah.
Extremely inconvenient for a lot of people. And this survey that I printed up here is actually set up on a Google's Doc,
mhm,
where you just go on your phone or go onto the computer and click one link, you're there, you answer a series of 1 through 5 questions, and then submit it with your email address, and then we are able to tabulate all that information directly online. And all that data we can use to bring to another meeting and discuss where people were more popular. I suspect that we would get more participation if it was something that wasn't so cumbersome to do.
online, for sure.
Yeah, I would like to add broadband onto that list.
And if you have any considerations that you'd like to add, right now you could tell me and we could, add them to the survey. But we're still not ready to submit this yet. It's just, we're still in the kind of the brainstorming phase of what should be on it. And these, we just pulled these off of our comp scheme,
Correct.
so.
Well, and since it's not up and running, this survey isn't yet. That's why I wanted to kind of go through the harbor scheme of improvements, that there's some things on here that really just need to be taken off, that I know that we won't do.
Yeah,
Sure.
there is.
And then add some that can be,
We
you
need,
know, down the road. I'm with you, not to do anything new until we're solid,
yeah,
which is just common sense, but,
Yeah, I mean,
and I don't
but
wanna,
we also,
I agree, and I don't wanna waste other people's time looking at something they think we might be considering, but we're not anymore,
correct,
right? And we are winding things down to a simpler version for the Port of Allyn, so I would wait, have a discussion more about what that's supposed to look like, you know, so.
Yeah. Okay,
And if I may, you know, the idea behind this is to help the commission narrow down what the community wants. So we would want to put this survey out a few months before we did any type of comp scheme update.
yes,
And that's why I wanted to get it started early and with maybe a target date of maybe after the next, not this coming workshop, but the last December workshop.
I would agree with that, and that the target for putting out a better condensed version of this survey again would be after the new year,
yeah,
Sure.
I would agree.
after more discussion.
Yeah.
I'm good with what we've done so far, but again, and I appreciate anybody that put and on our website responded to that. Before we push it and advertise it more, I would like to see us spend more time discussing it.
And it's something that I still have to check our records on to see how many we received.
Okay,
Will the Allyn association over here maybe donate a reader board for us so we can start advertising things? I mean, that's just food for thought, you know?
could
Looking,
be,
You can always ask Richard about it.
I'm serious. I mean, because that'd be one way to get people to know things that we want people to know. They're driving by thousands every day, you know?
I have something on the
Oh.
reader board,
Oh, did you? I missed it. Okay,
not for the survey, but
Okay.
for volunteering.
Yeah.
So,
okay,
but we could do something like that.
all right. Anyway,
So-
just food for thought. I think, I don't know, that's kind of old business because it was there at one time. But it's still new business too. All right,
Did remember Ken asked me if you wanted to,
Could it, can I?
Yeah,
Yes,
please.
thank you.
Commissioners, I can, John, this caught my eye when I was looking through the agenda and, up until just a month or so ago, there was a survey posted on the website. And so has it been pulled off of there?
Yeah, we did pull it off because we were working on a new one.
Okay, that's what I thought, and so, I obtained a copy of the 2020 plan survey. I did a request of him. Unfortunately, at that time, there was only a total of 17 responses. And even with that small sample size, the largest support was for an industrial park. For business park. But I took the liberty of forwarding you folks a copy of those special meeting minutes that you had at the business place there in Kitsap County.
I saw that.
Jeff came down here and didn't know where the meeting was and ended up calling in, and I zoomed in. And I just wanted to summarize that I think these were what were represented in the survey that was on the website. That this was a discussion held
That makes
there.
sense.
and it went on, I'm not gonna highlight everything, but it was about the comprehensive scheme of harbor improvements. It was a lengthy discussion. And one thing that Commissioner Jackson suggested was broadband expansion. So, and I think that was probably put on that. Comp plan at the time. Yeah. And then Commissioner Scott suggested removing the sports complex, as she didn't see it happening in the next 5 years. Consensus was amongst the board at the time to leave it on the plan, but move it down the list.
Yeah. Right.
And in those minutes, staff was working on a survey which they put up online. I never saw what the results of that survey were, so it'd be nice to have those captured.
We're gonna do some digging and see what we can find.
Yeah, because I don't think in that particular survey, the swimming pool was even on it. I wasn't even talked about in this comprehensive plan meeting a year ago, 3 years and a half ago.
Yeah, I don't believe it was either.
Then there was a discussion about the EV charging stations. And I don't know where that ended up. But, the next thing I wanted to go into length about a little bit was Commissioner Scott stated that she always believed the port should own and operate a commercial and or light industrial park. And the executive director was gonna look into grant options. And it was mentioned that the Port of Bremerton could possibly help with suggestions. And that's what I really want to talk to you right now about. Right now, as Mr. Brad Carey suggested, the Port of Bremerton is conducting feasibility study of commercial air service and or cargo feasibility. And if you take a look at this map behind us here,
Yeah.
one thing that the Port of Allyn has in common with the Port of Bremerton is this whole common boundary. This is all Port of Allyn, this is all Port of Bremerton.
That's true.
17 miles of boundary. That's significant. And in my opinion, the time's right for the Port of Allyn to create interagency agreements with the Port of Bremerton, get some help from them regarding industrial parks, supporting infrastructure like that new Belfair sewer pump station, and the freight corridor, which is on the horizon very soon.
Yeah,
No, it is.
I know.
They're drilling.
Close.
So anyway, I really wanted to mention that, and I'd encourage you to go onto the Port of Bremerton's website and look at the survey that they put on there. They're asking, they're doing it over a 5 or 6 year time frame, but they're asking for input from not just people in the Port of Bremerton, but
Everybody.
Yes,
Can I ask you a question?
sure.
So that's fixed with City of Bremerton and the Port of Bremerton property around there, though, right? It's not all Port of Bremerton
The
property.
city of Bremerton is right here.
Yeah,
And the city of Belfry is right here, but the Port of Bremerton
butts
is
up
a
against it.
taxing, it's just like
Yeah,
we're, the Port of Allen's a taxing district in
oh, I see,
Belfry.
I see.
So,
That's a good point.
um, just to continue on just a little bit here, there was a discussion about the shooting range. That's when, they thought that they could put a shooting range there where the PV site is. They tried to jump onto the meeting, but I guess nobody saw me raise my hand because I knew that wasn't for sale, but that's all right. And then, wanted to highlight this was back in 2023. That the executive director stated the cost of Sweetwater Park tripled in the time the port had been working with the salmon center. And he feels like the project will drop if we beat it. And then right after that, Jeff Carey logged in via Zoom to talk about the water stuff. So that's basically what I wanted to talk to you about. And I really think that when you take a look at the survey results from that and have a workshop on it, we can really come up with a really good, viable, comprehensive scheme. Not a big elaborate thing, something that we could sustain for the next few years. But I really encourage going in the direction of some sort of industrial park as a #1 priority, especially working with much larger port. Thank you for
Thank
allowing me the time to talk.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Secretary of Welfare, real quick on that survey. I know it's not an exciting project, but the water system is.
Important.
Kind of a quasi. It's becoming a more bread and butter once it gets stable, what have you. And there is continual things that need to be addressed and looked at as time goes on. And both from inspection and just capability, reliability, safety, all these kind of things. It's not, it's like a lot of water systems anywhere in the state or anywhere in the country. It's glamorous until it's bad. And it's like day number one, right after air to breathe.
Right?
Okay, so it's kind of one of, it suffers from a public relations problem, water. But it's probably something that should be in the comprehensive plan. To some degree, some structure, something,
At
because,
some level or another, yes.
because it's,
Part of who we are now.
Yeah.
yes. And then my other thing is, again, watch the budget, look at return on investment, these things, these projects. Take a critical look at them.
Yeah.
Not just, it's nice, it feels good, it makes people happy, but we're really in a role where we have to be critical thinking about projects and put in. And, I'll sound like a broken record too,
No,
but those RCWs, they just they don't match what the port's really about. If you just look at, just through your mind, just look at it and ask the question and come down through that RCW and just look at it. I realize the court has some obligations to the state agency that's involved,
yeah,
but I think, I would think, I don't know, but I would think that if they understand the court has is cleaning up financially certain things that cannot address it, I would think there must be some mechanism for them to work out with another partner. Don't get me wrong, I think the park should be here. I think it should be local control. But it's just not the board. It's just not the board. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
well, it does bring up. When we sit down and figure out our next workshop, is help us, help Travis prioritize, because it's not just money, when it comes to like where our eyes should be pointing. It's
Yeah.
realistic about time and energy to do things 100% right, which means not to overtask. And it's been a challenging period of time, and Travis has stepped up mightily.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that we continue to support that effort, right? So anyway, their eyes will help him set his priorities, right? Keeping it focused.
Yeah. No, I'm anxious to get on this because it's things that I think should come off and things that should go on. But we can save that for another day. Any, Commissioner Curtin, do you have anything you wanted to add in regard to that?
Nope.
Okay. All right, moving along, the water system development. Do you have anything that you wanted Add.
Nothing that I haven't already shared.
to, okay,
There'll be more movement next month
okay,
or at the workshop.
the pier repairs.
So you got a copy of the proposal from DF Electric.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
The 22,810 is just the direct replacement of the 6 pedestals. Came in nearly 4,000 less than our previous lowest bid, so
Mhm.
that's very encouraging. But then I did let you know that I was gonna explore what an EV charging pedestal for one of the 6 would be.
yeah,
And they want nearly 7,000 as an upgrade. And I didn't think that the court would personally be interested in a gimmick at that rate.
well, there's grants. But
Yes,
is
right.
is it worth pursuing that,
Maybe in the future, but not now.
Yeah,
There's
like,
no
okay.
real demand for a
Sure.
EV charging boat station in our area currently. Now,
Are there very many EV boats out there?
there are some, but we're not seeing any in our waterways, so. It's something, if we get any kind of requests, somebody calls in, hey, when do you
course.
expect to get
Of
this?
course, if we had one, they would probably show up.
That,
but-
that is true.
It is minimal.
And I based my thought process there on trying to get the most out of our monies for the
Yeah,
for the pier.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
but it is definitely up to the commission whether they want to choose that route.
I think
well,
sea lines kind of give us an idea what we shouldn't do.
well, in my mind, I think tabling that part because getting a grant first to do that, because I know that there are grants out there to do that. But that's the only way I would suggest that we,
I would say
Get more
no
land.
for now.
huh?
Yeah, he's.
Yeah,
And another thought process is that maybe that gets explored in the North Shore ones get replaced, because they're
Mhm.
old. And they're gonna need replacement in the next 5 or so years.
yeah,
And perhaps that's a better location to do that, since we have so much more recreational boating in North Carolina.
true. And plus there's some gas there at Alderbrook.
Yeah, it's,
So, but
we'll never
but
see a
it-
fuel depot at that
yeah.
point, so.
absolutely.
So, basically, I'm just asking that we approve the 22,800 so that we can get the power stanchions ordered and replaced before the next
Yeah,
season.
okay.
Yeah, it's under the spending authority. I just want to make sure nobody had any problems with it.
Yep, I have no problem with it.
I
Move
don't either.
forward. Commissioner Curtin, you have any comment in regard to this?
I think we should just go with the what you have planned. We'll
Okay.
wait on the high tech stuff for when it's actually got a need.
Yeah,
Yeah, and in fact, if I may, I talked to Freedom Boats director. And they still haven't even gotten their pilot program off the ground yet to put in EV charging stations on Lake Union.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so. There's
Oh,
the only
yeah,
ones
then-
that he even knew of were private ones. Where people privately owned their own electric boat and installed their own EV charging station on their own
I
dock.
think we're way far away from that.
So, yeah, I think so too.
Okay,
Thank you.
so move forward. That's great. Oyster House relocation,
Anything more to add than we've already discussed?
yeah, nope, our time with Bill Ray and with Peter Leon hopefully can expedite more things. We'll find out, about getting it moved. Okay, port safety and security, anything else on that?
No.
Okay, setting time and date for our next workshop.
This is always fun. See that. It's the afternoons, right? It's best.
So, 2 weeks from now is the short week of Thanksgiving. I don't know if the commission be interested in having the meeting Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday prior to the holiday weekend, or.
That's gonna be a little tough, isn't it? Actually, I kind of off the hook. Monday's open for me on the 18th. Oh, that's next week. That's next week. Sorry. Time got away from me.
That was good, huh? Oh, wait a minute. That's too soon. How
Yeah,
about the 25th on a Monday? Is that an option for anybody? It's gonna get pretty limited beyond that for me, so no.
I think I can do that. It'd have to be in the afternoon,
Okay,
like 3 if
Ooh.
possible, or 2, or do you have another?
not morning,
Um,
so.
yeah, I could do morning.
Okay, so either Monday or Tuesday, as long as it's the morning, I could do.
Okay.
Of the 25th and 26th.
Mike, how are you on the Monday morning, the 25th?
Yeah, I can't do Tuesday.
Okay.
At the
25th.
moment, I'm open.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
yay. Okay, 10 o'clock Monday morning.
Let's do that.
Does that work for you, Mike?
10 o'clock, yes.
Yippee skippy.
All right, let's
Okay.
stick with that. If it changes, I'll just find out how it went. Cause that's pretty how tight it is for the next couple
Okay.
few weeks, so you know,
Yep, Monday, the 25th, 10 a.m.
yeah. All right. Are you wanting to be there?
I can make that.
Monday, the 25th at 10 a.m.
The planning advisory committee for the counties meet twice a month is a comprehensive plan. That's why you're gonna not see me certain days.
Okay,
Because I mean, like our classroom just 3.5 hours.
wow.
Oh,
It's a grind.
really?
3.5
And
hours.
twice a month?
Right, well, some are like 2 hours, hour and 45 minutes, but right now it's twice a month, and like the last meeting was 3.5 hours. And it was like point by point by point, 21 pages.
That's how,
That was a grind, so.
that's good though. I mean, you know,
So I'm saying, I'm not live Mondays, and of course, that moves around, but they have the same time all days and having changed. Back
I'd like to see you there. That's why I mean, we all would.
at this moment. I can make it.
Okay,
Okay. 25th,
Either
10
way.
a.m.
okay. Okay,
Yay.
cool.
Okay, next we're on the committee considerations.
Yeah, I just don't want to. I mean, it's. We've talked about it in the past and just wanted to bring it up again to see if there was any had any suggestions or anybody was interested in from your walks around the community.
Well, I mean, adding to what we already are doing,
No, just
just keeping.
yeah, considerations of people that might be interested in committee.
Well, I've been going to the PRTPO and EDC. So my plate's full.
Okay.
You know, I try to hit DNR and Department of Natural Resource, but I'm a volunteer for that. That's not port related. But,
We'll just start putting out a Facebook post every couple of weeks.
okay.
I don't know if it's appropriate time, but if you had a chance to reach out to so community involvement would really be super helpful, you know,
Mhm.
like volunteerism is worth its weight in gold, you know, so I'd like to see us spend a little bit of that time we have like it's a multiplier. So trying to find people who have a vested interest in seeing to being a part of Port Allen and be successful and continue to grow and learn. And also, there's people out there that are retired, like I mentioned, small business administration. They have CEOs that just want to give back. I know there's people in Lakeland Village that would love to give back without even knowing who they are. It's a no-brainer. I'd like to see us reach out.
Well, and one thing about volunteers is that, you know, you really kind of need to have it specified. You know, we need
Yes.
these volunteers for,
For
Such and such.
yeah. And that's something maybe we could bring up at the workshop.
Yeah, I'd
So we
like to
can
talk
start
about it more.
pinpointing what we need.
yeah,
Like the rudiments of the survey were put together by a volunteer.
Yeah, yeah. So
okay.
that's something that maybe we could talk
Yeah,
about.
I'm just bringing up not as a point of discussion as much as I wanted to emphasize, we need to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff, you had a comment quickly. Probably should stand if it's in regard to the committees.
Yes, in regards to critics.
Okay,
Let's sum it up. We probably want to have one for the water
yes,
and for openers, just as an idea. We have 87 users. And probably bill or whatever, put that in there. You know, looking at things, so they. The first thing is you have to kind of have some guidelines of what it is that committee's gonna address and what have you. But I'm sure if you have just a slight flavoring of rates, you will have more attention.
Yeah,
But that, I don't mean it to focus on that rates because there'll have to be an education, because time and time and time, people have asked me up there, you know, on the flat, and I said, okay, I understand what you're saying, but here's the problem. And then I start to, you know, then I start to glaze over a little bit. And it's like, you know, but everybody has an idea of what they want,
yeah,
but they don't have, they don't have the background, one, what's happened.
yeah,
And two, it's taking time. And like I said in the last workshop, it took me 3-4 times with your current engineer,
Mhm.
who was pretty open-minded about things before he kind of took to my idea. So,
Yes,
so, you know, that I'm getting as, for example, what it might take with people, but I'm saying that might be a source. But I would not contact you until you kind of have to scope it out with that committee. It's different, because annually you should be looking at rates, but they should be looking at the whole picture, not just saying, I want the rates lower. The knowing that they have these capital facilities and they time out of life, and you have to know where those numbers are, and all of a sudden, you know, what you thought you did away with $50 a month, all of a sudden it's $60 a month. And
yeah, I
I
get,
think it'd be good for the community.
thank you.
Thank you.
Well, anything when we had talked about, matter of fact, getting a volunteer to help coordinate volunteers.
yes,
Because that in itself would be helpful,
very.
because it takes time to deal with volunteers,
Sounds like a commissioner.
huh?
Sounds like a commissioner job.
No,
Could be,
it
but,
kind of
you
does.
know,
At one point, at some point it will be, yeah.
Hmm.
Well, it's just getting the right people in the right place, and then it takes on a life of its own.
Yeah.
You gotta put some effort in.
Okay, anything else on the? Commissioner Curtin, do you have any comments in regard to committees?
Not this time.
Okay. Future administrative oversight process, you had mentioned about that. That's something that maybe we could bring up in the workshop,
Yeah,
okay?
I'd say, here before it's administrative now, this by looking, reflecting back over this last year. And thinking where we should be and where we are. It's an administrative portion, so that's fair, it can stay that way. But that area of finance reporting, if we don't have it. The risk oversight is gonna be a pain.
yeah,
It's kind of like the first level, or first highest level of oversight you need to know. I mean, you just need to know at this moment in time, like, okay, positive or negative, we spent more than I should have spent less, you know, not nitty gritty, just big picture, so we kind of know where we are, because even I, working the budget, I'm not sure where you are at the second. I didn't take the time to look at all the reports.
yeah,
Anyway,
exactly. I'm starting to get really optimistic that we're doing well. Yeah, I need to know. I mean,
yes,
I get what you're saying.
yeah.
I think for me, there are a lot of moving parts, certainly not like others, but not only the fiscal responsibility, but even just logistical responsibilities,
Right,
having something, you and I had talked about that, having a plan to accomplish all that oversight, something that when I'm gone, he's gone, that can continue on with the plan. And
Yeah.
that, to me, that would be the first thing, is develop a plan of knowing how to oversight everything.
those are the
to
mechanisms.
Oversee everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes a lot of sense.
No, it
but-
makes total sense.
With the general, like, talking workshop. You can start the process because none of us are forever. And nobody needs to go through what we just went through.
Yeah, Okay, well,
That's the thing, it's just back to my, you don't need to repeat.
That's correct.
all right. I think, any other comment in regard to that, Michael, or,
Nope.
all right, we are at the refund levy adjustment.
And I've provided a quick, short description in the executive director's report on the first page
Mm-hmm.
that labels options A, B, and C.
Yes.
That's what we'd be looking for the commission to consider.
I think we need the 1,800.
So last year, Leanne just wrote in it was like, I think it was 1,600 last year.
Sure,
She just put it into the document and passed it over.
I think it would be the first one as well. I mean, you know,
But I
don't-
looked back into previous years
Mhm.
and that was the first year that the levy refund had been added into the document.
oh,
So it hadn't been being processed previously.
okay,
So that's, otherwise, I mean, if it had been, so I look back to 2020 and it had been processed every year, I would have just processed it without bringing it before the commission. Wanted to make sure you were aware of it.
well, they did it a little different back then, though, you know,
Well,
it
it's
wasn't
clear.
really necessary, and I don't know why, but I'm glad it's clear this way, that's great.
It is.
And I too, I don't wanna have to raise more taxes, but we do need the money. So I would vote for the first item, which is to reimburse. I'm trying to find it here so I can,
How much is it?
1,800 and
55.76, and this just adds on to what we can possibly get in our levy.
yeah,
It's just if we approve that we can go after that lost revenue and it appears, then we receive it. If we say no, then and it appears, we don't receive it.
Sorry, but where did you get that number? 1855?
It is in the document that actually isn't in your packet here.
Okay,
It
it's okay.
I hate to say it, but Greg missed a few documents posting on Friday.
It's
That
okay.
was one. It's posted
Oh.
now.
Thank you.
yeah, and it's based on a 1% of what we,
No, this isn't based on the 1%. This is based off of
It's,
tax
I see the
adjustments
amount
related to
now. Oh,
refunds or
yeah, there it is.
cancellations of taxes from.
and
the
this
past year.
comes from who?
okay,
That's what it's based on.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. That's a good verification.
Oh,
Trust but
thanks, yes.
verify.
yes. That's right, I did see
Somebody
that.
said that. All right. So do you want to go ahead and do that right now as an action?
Yes,
I
please.
make a motion of approval for the adjustment of, the Port of Allen 2025 levy of $1,835 and
76.
76 cents. Yeah.
Okay, do I hear a second?
I'll make a motion to second that.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
so,
Thank you.
okay. Next on the agenda is our financial state of the port, and Aaron is not here, so Travis, you'll get to do some
Sure.
explaining.
Well. So currently, we're looking good for the end of the year. We're about 40,000 above where we ended last year. The DNR income really helped over the past few months. So far, we've received 27,000 in DNR related income for the entire year, but most of it we've seen in the last 3 months. Other than that, we received 109,000 in property tax revenue for this second half of the tax collections. We'll see a bit more next month, possibly 10 to 20K is what Aaron is speculating. I think it's gonna be closer to the 10.
Hmm.
Looking at our income and expense report that she put out, our North Shore revenue is even to slightly down, but we still have 2 more months of possibly a few more voters coming out. And we also have, of course, our storage mortgage there that brings us in about 800 a month. So that'll get back to even. for the year. The Allyn Marina is way up, surprisingly, in collection. And suppose that mostly comes from, more boat traffic, using the launch. But we haven't had that much, moorage revenue, but it's still there. And we're in many, many columns. We are, under our budget for the year. It'll become much clearer here at the end of the year, but we're looking really good in a lot of categories. And that's just a lot of tightening that is hard to really see until you've actually done it for a year.
Mm-hmm.
And my hope is to take this full year at the end and really kind of separate things out so that it's easier to see each of those categories for all of our real expenses. Break it down more of a line items from our actual vouchers over the year.
Mm-hmm.
So you see what we're actually, what columns were in what. Because the Springbook system is helpful, but it seems to clump a lot of things together. Where you don't actually see and feel where those monies are coming in or going out.
I've seen the way that Springbok looks and it makes me cross-eyed.
This will give us after this year, it'll give us a better idea of where we're at from month to month next year. To our overall budget.
Mm-hmm.
It'll make it easier to make sure we're on track. Which I think is one of the things that Jeff was talking about. Making sure we're easier to track.
Mm-hmm. Jeff?
Listening to what Charles is saying now, listening to what you're saying in the report. I have a feeling what's not happening is ledgers are not being created correctly. Because I think you can force that system to spit it out the way we're talking. But I think somehow we're off on the ledgers being the classification of how you're assigning an expense. See? But in this case, expenses.
Can we save that for the workshop?
Fair.
And
Make a note.
And Erin will be providing a presentation on the bar system next
Great.
meeting. She was gonna have it for this meeting, but she couldn't make the Tuesday.
Okay.
So we have that to expect as well.
Great, that'll help a lot. Let's see when our next meeting is. December 9th. Okay. Anything else, Travis, on that, or?
No, that's really all
Questions?
I have for that.
I see we have the bond payment to do.
Yeah, and that's, it doesn't require an approval. It's something we've
No, it's
already
something already
approved. It
done.
comes out automatically. But we've accounted for it and, it's all, accounted for in this, income and expense report we have. Thing is that 22,000 isn't included in our general vouchers of 44,000. So really what's coming out of the general fund is closer to 66,000 and change this month.
Yeah,
Because the bond repayment comes out differently. It's a transfer. At the county level, it's not a check that's voucher.
mm-hmm. Okay, are there any other questions on this or comments?
No.
No.
No? Any other comments?
Just when we you choose to approve the vouchers on the general fund, that number of 43,481 is actually 44,081.00.
Okay. So we have that correction. So I can hear a motion. To,
Okay. Are we on the vouchers now?
yes,
Yes.
I'll go ahead and I'll make a motion for all three.
yes,
And can you read them, please?
All right, yeah. Make a motion to approve the payment of general fund voucher number 2411-00011 through 2411-00042. And Oh, I see. And then 2411000050 and 24110051 for $44,081. And then the payroll voucher total, voucher number 2411000001 through 2411000010 for $16,531.32. And the payment of water fund vouchers, voucher number 2411000043 through 2411000049 for a total of $7,110.21.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. so-
Aye.
Okay. Well, we are at the good of the order. Unless there's any other comments in regard to that. Anything? Ken, anything? Person on Zoom, June Williams. No comment? Anything to the order? Okay, well, happy Thanksgiving.
That's good of the order.
Yeah. Person's not there yet. I guess we're gonna have a meeting before that, but still. Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.
Alright.